Welcome to Hooked On Headwaters, where we're breaking down Headwaters Lake in Fellsmere, Florida.
Hey guys, it's Barry and Dave. What's up, everyone? Hey, we're back out here on the lake to do another episode where we're breaking down different parts of the lake to help you find good places to fish. This video, we're going to change up the formatting a little bit. We're going to go ahead and talk about the area. We're going to show you the area. We're going to show you the depth finder and do all that. We're going to show you what's hiding in my hand, secret bait. Not really secret once you see it, but it is one bait that's producing really well. So hang on till the end, or towards the end we go ahead and reveal what that bait is. And at the end we're going to go ahead and go to the map as well and show you exactly where we are from the satellite view and exactly how to get here. It's a real easy trip, but a lot of fun. We were out here last night doing some pre-fishing and got on some really nice fish, fast action. So with that being said, hey, we're going to go ahead and kick things off by switching the cameras around and going to the lake. So we're going to just kind of cruise up and down and show you the depths again on the depth finder and what it looks like around here. So with that, hey, we're going to flip it around now.
All right, everybody, went ahead and sped up the video here double time so we can get through this a little bit quicker when it comes to covering the waters here. From the start of the area that we're fishing all the way down to the end is about a half a mile, and that would be the start of the area to the west and heading east, which is the direction we're going now, is east, down to eventually we'll get down to the area where the lily pads are. As you can see on the depth finder, we've got a pretty interesting bottom here with some nice shelves. We've got deep drop-offs you're going to see coming up here where these trees here are on the right. From there out to the palm trees you're going to see coming up here on the left. This is where you're going to see a really nice drop off that gives the bass a lot of and specs for that matter. They've got one on his rattle trap, which was really fun. But out to those palm trees out there in the distance, as you head that direction, you can see now that it's starting to drop off, getting down 10, 11, 12, 13, and we're going to get on down to about 24 feet in depth. So the fish have some really good areas to move around and hold on. If they want to be up in the shallows, up in the shade underneath the trees, they can hang out in there. You notice we're marking some fish there on the depth finder there now. And then as we're moving around here, you can see again the depth changes, the bottom changes, coming up to 25 feet. Good grief. And then a nice drop off again here. So you can see that again that there's some really nice places for the fish to hold, some structure in there for them to hold up against. As we're running down this a little bit close to the shoreline here, you see the depth change. You know, all of a sudden now we're up into 3 feet of water. And as we move on down, it'll drop off again, 4 foot, 5 foot. We're running some 7 foot areas here that are pretty close to shore, which is nice. That was the areas I was really finding some fish when I was pitching up underneath this cover along these branches that are overhanging, and where it's coming out, dropping it into 4 or 5 foot of water, 6 foot. Again, there's an area along here that was 7 foot, but it happens really fast. So what I was finding was pitching up in there, I was pulling fish as they were following me out off of that ledge where I was picking them off this drop off, kind of like what you're seeing right there where you can see where drop off is. And that did pretty well. There's the 7 foot area I was talking about. So a great area to fish. Spend some time working it. If you're not finding them there during the daytime, come back closer to sundown and fish along the banks. That's when the night before when we were pre-fishing, did a lot better, found a lot more fish. When we were out there just out here doing the filming, Dave got onto that speck there pretty quick, so it kind of distracted us, and we're throwing some jigs and some other things around, see if we could pick up a couple more. So we didn't do as much fishing as we normally would have done. So that's why you're seeing some night before pre-fishing, couple of examples of some fish, but we caught a lot more than that. Less smaller ones, but just a fun area to fish no matter what. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get back to the live deal over on the boat.
All right, everybody, that's the rundown as far as the bank goes. You get a little bit of everything. We've got some deeper water that's right up close to the bank. We've got deeper water that's away from the bank. We've got lily pads if you want to do some punching. You want to just jig along the edges there. You're going to see some fish along there. So from here, we're going to go ahead and take it to the map as far as Google goes. Although what I did promise y'all is that I would tell you something that's working for me, and I'm going to give you out my favorite bait here. This is thanks to my brother-in-law. This June bug worm right here. I'd forgotten about these. Used them way back in the day, and then just kind of got away from that color pattern. Here, we'll put it over a little closer to the camera there. Sometimes I'll either use it without any weight whatsoever, or I use one of those weighted hooks, and that works really, really well to just kind of let it sink down a little bit slower. A lot of times I just throw it out there. Make sure when you're out here fishing this lake, no matter where you're fishing, you throw a worm, let that worm sit. Don't mess with it. Give it 30 seconds, because I don't know how many times I can tell you that I've turned around, thrown a worm, messed around doing something else, reached back and picked my rod up, and there's a bass on it. They just seem to just find them. Okay, so make sure you're doing that when you're using worms especially. So I'm going to turn this back over to Dave here and let him fill you in on what he's got.
All right, folks. Now when you fish these spots, give it a try. If you don't hook into anything after a while, we'll move on to another spot. But come back another time during the day, because the fish will likely be there. So again, give it a shot, put in some time, and move on to another spot. But don't forget about it. Come on back.
Absolutely good advice for sure, because that's how it worked out yesterday. Doing some pre-fishing, a little slow, and then all of a sudden, just turned on. Conditions kind of changed a little bit, and it could be the littlest thing that makes the bass all of a sudden. It could be a couple degrees in temperature, it could be wind direction, it could be any number of factors, and they'll get going. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take you to the Google Maps view of exactly where this spot is. So we'll see you in a second. All right, over here on Google, we're going to go ahead and show you the spot we're talking about, and it is this bank right here. And you should most everybody will probably recognize this because you're real familiar with coming down here and running down to the south end. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out for those that aren't so familiar with the lake, so you know exactly where we're talking about. The ramp is way up here. Okay, so you're going to come down the S Canal. You're going to take off on the east-west and run west. And then from there, probably recommend going in and picking up the 45 down to this canal here. If you have not seen our east-west canal video, or the 45, or even the S Canal video for that matter, go ahead and check out the channel. You'll pick up those videos there to give you an explanation on how to run this, the S Canal, the east-west, things to look out for, and of course the 45. When you get down here to the bottom, you're going to see it, the canal here, and then you can't miss these. It just closes in these fingers here. So it is really the first major solid piece of land that you're going to see coming down across this lake here. Everything else is much smaller than this here. So this is the area. The distance is about a half a mile from this side to this area here. So you got a nice run to go ahead and fish, nice shoreline to go ahead and fish. Right up against the bank, you're going to see it's about a foot, maybe 6 inches a foot, 2 foot, up underneath all the brush. You got trees overhanging, so you got nice shady areas to look at for finding some fish. And then from there, you're going to find really close to this shoreline, it drops off to 4, 5, 6, 7 feet all along here. So if you're not finding them right up tight, go ahead and work this cut here, throw something different. Dave was running a rattle trap, did pretty good on that, finding some fish and a speck. And the night before, we did really well finding the fish in here. I'm going to pop up a couple pictures now of a couple of the fish that I had gotten the night before, and you'll see them on the bump board. And I know, guys, I know it's already coming. When I was taking the pictures of these fish on the bump boards, I'm already chuckling. I'm like, these guys are going to give me a hard time. I know it, because I did not take the time to close their mouth and put them up against a stop. And I figured it's going to be, heck to pay. But it's all good by me. Go ahead, give me a hard time. I don't like to keep the fish out of the water any longer than I have to, and because I just want to get a general size thing for y'all, I just threw them on the board, took a quick picture, and got them back in the water. But those were a couple of the ones that were a little bit nicer. You know, we didn't find any real big fish out there, but it is there is a lot of fish in the area. Moving off of this bank, let's see, backing up, take your time, throw your baits right up as far up into the cover as you can. Let them sit for just 10-15 seconds. If you don't get anything, if there's nothing picks it up, go ahead, give it just a couple little quick twitches, see what happens, and then if still nothing, go ahead and work it off toward the drop off here, and you may find them hanging right against that drop off down a little bit deeper. From there, you've got the deep section that we showed you all in this area here. It's between these palm trees you're going to see, and pull down here, these are palm trees here. We showed you those in the video, but kind of between here and the shoreline here, it's in this general area here where it drops all the way down to 24 feet. But it's really nice because it's differing levels. You've got humps and bumps and shelves and places for the bass to hang tight to. Different temperature differences in the depths, so they're going to find their comfort zone, and they're going to be able to hold tight to some of the structure down there and ambush some bait. With that being said, as you move up into this area, there it's a more flat area, 3 foot average as far as just our quick run around. But the fish have a lot of good areas to move around, whether they're chasing bait, because there was a lot of bait I noticed the night before, just kind of moving around this area. Picked up a couple on top water as well, so that was a lot of fun. So it's just another area that you can add to your places to fish, whether you want to make this a first place to go to, or if you're running south down to the Egan area down here. Let me zoom out. If you're running down to this area and you're on your way back, you just there's always that one last spot you want to hit. Just come around the corner, work this bank real quick, or kind of work this deep hole, see what you can do. Again, a lot of fun, and an area that Dave and I are definitely going to be coming back to really spend a lot of time working through this whole area, as well as looking for specs, because I already popped up the little short clip of Dave with that spec that he got on that rattle trap, and the fact that he got one, is a good indication that they're in the area. Okay, and the way that this big deep drop off is here is definitely interesting. So we're going to wind up going and picking up some minnows from the Felsmere Bait and Tackle, the Outdoor Adventures, Pat and Jackie's place down there. That's your go-to place. You're looking for minnows, looking for shiners, looking for any of your baits, hit them up. They've got everything you're going to need and the advice to go along with it. So with all that being said, add this to your list of places to give it a try. Let us know if you hit this area in the comments, and let us know how you did. And if you've got something that's working for you in this area, hey, share along with everybody else, what's going on. So with that, hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate everybody watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.
Hey, just want to take a second to thank everybody who has liked, subscribed, and hit the notification bell on our videos here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook at Hooked On Headwaters. And we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. If you're looking for the best in pedal kayaking fishing guides, check out livingwaterskayaking.com. And for all your bait and tackle needs, without question, stop in at Fellsmere Outdoor Adventures Bait and Tackle Shop. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.